This is a practical guide for hooking up analog hardware with Logic Pro X, using it for mixing and mastering. The aim of this video is to have you up and running in less than 5 minutes using compressors, EQs, or whatever you have lying around in your house that is analog hardware. May it be guitar pedals, spring reverbs, or whatever. And if you stick around to the end, I got a special bonus for you, so be sure to not miss out. Let's go! So the first thing you need is equipment. You need an audio interface that has at least 2 inputs and at least 4 outputs. And in the description below, I have linked some interfaces that I like, that I know works for routing in and out analog hardware equipment. So you need the I/O, you need the inputs, and you need the outputs. And in this chart, I show you just how to route it. You need some cables, XLR or jack cables like this, and you need the interface, and of course the outboard gear that is displayed here. That could be whatever. And then you just need to make sure that it's routed correctly. Make sure also that the cables are working. If something doesn't work, check the cables. It's my advice. And the second thing is the I/O plugin in Logic Pro X. It's found under the utilities. Like here, the plugin looks like this. What you need to pay attention to here is the output section and the input section. You have to find your outputs represented in this drop-down list of I/Os. So in my case, it's 7 and 8 that goes out, and it's 5 and 6 that goes in, because it's a stereo signal. You can use this in mono as well. It works fine. Even though you have stereo processors, you can use those as well in mono, only triggering for one channel. And when you found the correct inputs and outputs, run a test, make sure that everything is fine with the audio. There's something happening to the processors, and then hit the ping button to do some latency compensation. This is just to time your recordings with the rest of your mix session. And then what you need to do is create a bus. In this case, bus 27, but it could be bus 1, 4, 8, whatever. And this bus is like a dummy bus because it's not going to be used for anything other than having it as an input for your print track. Which leads us to the next step, which is creating an empty audio track like this. So here we have an empty stereo track. As the input, I select bus 27, which is the bus that I'm using for this application. And then I hold down the Alt button, and then I click on the send volume knob, which will lead me to unity gain. And then I hit record. Like this. I can toggle on and off monitoring. I usually have it off, and I have the print track muted. And then when done, I will solo the print track and play it back just to check if I had everything correct. As you can see on this printed track right here, I have played a little bit with the input knob on my outboard processor just to demonstrate that audio is in fact running in and out of Logic Pro X using my outboard. The template for this session is included in my free Logic Pro template pack. The link is in the description. The next thing you need to do is bounce. So you've printed your track. In this case, it's the whole mix. And then comes time for bouncing. And you just bounce, but you need to make sure that everything has been recorded. If you try to bounce your track with the I/O plugin on the mix bus with nothing printed, it will be silence. So you need to print your track like this. If you do this in the mix, inside the mix, with the kicks, with the snares and so on, it's another case. You just mute the original signal, hide it maybe, and then you leave the printed track as is going into the mix bus. And the same procedure, just bounce it and you're good to go. I hope this was helpful, and if it was, hit the like button and tell me, did this work in your studio? Let me know in the comments. Now for the bonus. In this mix session, I have in fact imported stems from another project, and I've attempted to mix this again only using my hardware interfaces, the SSL Fusion and the Warm Audio Bus Comp. I've treated the drums, the bass, the samples, and the mix bus. And if you want to see how I do this step by step, watch this video up here. And if you want to see how I mix step by step using only analog emulations, click the video below. And consider subscribing if you want more videos like these. And if you made it all the way here, thanks so much for watching, and I hope I see you in the next video. Peace!